Glasgow in the year 1915 was one like bloody struggle just to keep ourselves alive. We're counting out our pennies just to buy our scraps of food, and the landlords put the rent up just because they could. All the factories were humming, there was overtime galore, but wages they were driven down to subsidise the war. Out came Mrs. Barber fae her wee bit sing-a-lent. She says, I'll hate to rouse the lassies, 'cause I cannae rouse the men, 'cause I'm free govern. And you're free Partick, Irish and here's me bridge away, and yon's faking in part, there's some that's prods. There's some that's Catholic, but we're Mrs. Barber's army, and we're here to do the work. Mrs. Barber made a poster saying we'll no pay higher rent. Then she chapped on every door and every governed tenement. She'd put this in the windy when you hear me bang the drum. We'll go out and chase the factor or the whitey kingdom come. When the poor wee soul come round, he was battered black and blue, with a regiment and pennies that knew just what to do. Mrs. Barber organised a gathering of the clans, and they rushed out to the steamy iron with pots and frying pans, saying, I'm free govern, and you're free Partick. Irish and here's me bridge away, and yon's faking in part, there's some that's prods, there's some that's Catholic, but we're Mrs. Barber's army, and we're here to do the work. Mrs. Barber's army spread through Glasgow like the plague, and the maesters got the message, and the message was nae vague. Well, our men folk fight the Kaiser, we'll stay here and fight the war against the goody bastards that keep grinding down the poor. If you want to end conscription, stand and smash the profiteers. Bring the hell big bloody sandpit crash and run about their ears. When it starts said Mrs. Barber, well, the men we corrade are marching off to see their heart's blood run like water down a drain, 'cause I'm free govern, and you're free Partick. Irish and here's free bridge away, and yon's faking in part, there's some that's prods, there's some that's Catholic, but we're Mrs. Barber's army, and we're here to do the work. Well, it didn't take the government too long to realise, if you clamp down on the leaders, the rest will compromise. They arrested Mrs. Barber and they clapped her in the jail, but they made an awful big mistake, they let her out on bail. She brought the men out of the factories, the Clyden on the cart. They marched up to the courthouse and we'll tear this place apart. Mrs. Barber's army brought the maesters to their knees, with a regiment and pennies backed by one in Dungaree, saying I'm free govern, and you're free Partick. Irish and here's me bridge away, and yon's faking in part, there's some that's prods, there's some that's Catholic, but we're Mrs. Barber's army, and we're here to do the work, as I'm free govern, and you're free Partick. Irish and here's me bridge away, and yon's faking in part, there's some that's prods, there's some that's Catholic, but we're Mrs. Barber's army, and we're here to do the work. Aye, we're Mrs. Barber's army, and we're here to do the work. We're Mary Barber's army, and we're here to do the work.